Well, the manipulators are at it again. Not only did they downgrade Palantir, but there's one specific analyst who gave a price target of $11. What the fuck? There's no way this guy could be a real analyst. This is manipulators at their finest, trying to take you out of Palantir. Don't worry about subscribing, tapping the like button, or looking for the coaching and Discord link. We'll get right to it. Let's dive right into Palantir. Look, they do this time and time again. There's an analyst for RBC Capital who gave Palantir a price target of $11. This is nothing short of a joke. Palantir is worth way more than $11. Is it currently worth 75 or 80? Probably not. Not right now. But if you bake in future guidance, the fact that Trump's going to be in office, Peter Thiel is big supporter of Trump. There's going to be more government contracts, a lot more revenue, exponential growth, guidance for the future, and how good the company's doing bringing in revenue with commercial and government contracts. All of these things being said, Palantir is definitely worth the current price with all of that and the future guidance baked in. If they indeed meet or beat the expectations on the upcoming earnings, Palantir will fly again. But I am slightly concerned with the downgrade that there is also the potential that Palantir could dip back into the mid or low 60s. But this would be a buying opportunity because what we want to do is just completely stockpile, hence the name, Palantir. We want to have lots of Palantir. So if the stock drops to 60, we add. If it drops to 55, we add. If it goes back to 75 or 80, we add. We just keep dollar cost averaging up and down. Doesn't matter because the price target for Palantir and the market cap is 250 billion in the next 2 years and a price target roughly of 125 to 150. So there's like a 2x return in the next 1 to 2 years or more. By 2030, there should be a 500 billion market cap based on guidance, contracts, revenue, and the way the stock has been moving, which means there's a 4 to 5x return. So in the next 4 to 5 years, Palantir very likely could be around $300 to $400. But let's stay in our lane right now and stay focused on the realistic approach over the next year. Palantir over the next year very well could break 100, and it's actually projected to do so by the summer of 2025. That right there is a $30 gain and profit over where the stock is right now. If you really follow the breadcrumbs and you follow the paper trail, you will see that every time a stock gets an increased guidance for a year, 6 months to a year or more, but usually within the 6 to 12 month window, somewhere several weeks to a month after that, a stock will get downgraded. It's very weird because SoFi got its boost and got its guidance raised, and Dan Ives spoke about it, so did Tom Lee, and the stock was doing well. And then we had the KBW incident where they downgraded the stock, and then guess what? When it dropped, they bought it up and it ran. So this downgrade is nothing but a cash grab to get you shaken out of your stock so they can get it cheaper. If Palantir drops to 70, 68, or even 65, heck, even 60, buy the stock. If Palantir drops to 70, 68, 65, heck, even $60, buy the stock and dollar cost average. I want to read you guys the most recent news on Palantir and what's going on with this stock. Then I'm going to show you how to sell puts, whether naked or cash secured, and just garner lots of juicy premiums from the stock to add towards shares and getting into the stock. If you don't get assigned, then you can use this premium to buy the shares and enter the stock manually. Morgan Stanley assigned a new analyst to cover hot artificial intelligence stock Palantir Technologies, and the Wall Street firm joined the ranks, forecasting worse times ahead for the stock. Sanjit Singh assumed lead coverage of Palantir and slapped an underweight rating of $60 price target on the company. The firm previously had an underweight rating until November, when it removed its rating from the company to reevaluate. None of the analysts who follow the company, according to FactSet, have a target price above Friday's close of $79.89. The closest is Dan Ives of Wedbush Securities with a target of $75. The lowest is $11, courtesy of RBC Capital Markets' Rishi Jaluria. Palantir stock, which jumped 6% on Friday, slid 5% on Monday. Morgan Stanley's Singh acknowledges that Alex Karp-led company has gotten a lot of things right, with its U.S. commercial business accelerating and its government business re-accelerating, all while the company maintained expense discipline. To To put it bluntly, if executive management teams and decision makers want to get their AI initiative into live production environment rapidly, Palantir has emerged as one of the select few partners to call, the analyst says. Palantir may also get a boost from its links to the upcoming Trump administration, notably from co-founder Peter Thiel, as well as government work. But there's a price for everything. Singh says Palantir's 340% gain in 2024 was almost driven entirely by multiple expansion of 292%. Revenue estimates for 2025 have only increased by 10% over the course of the year. Backing things out, the stock is pricing in a 30% compound annual growth rate over 10 years, as well as 41% free cash flow margins, he says. Singh says his target leaves the stock as the most expensive of what it calls high-growth software companies, with an 80% premium to its peers. Another thing to mention is Palantir got a $619 million extension on its Army Vantage contract with the U.S. military, and Palantir closed 2024 as the top stock in the S&P 500, gaining over 340%. What I ultimately would do is sell puts weekly to get into the stock at $70 and $72. If you're thinking that the stock is more likely to drop to $60 or $65, then it would make sense to sell 64 or $65 puts going out a month. If you go out 4 weeks, you can collect a juicy premium, and if you get assigned at 64 or 65, that's only a few dollars away from the price target of $60. If not, you're collecting free premium all the time. This is exactly what I would do. Let me show you how to do that. However, before we dive into the options on Palantir, if you're having trouble in the market, maybe you're just getting started, or maybe you want to retire early, I would love to help you achieve your financial goals, as it's what drives me every single day. You guys can sign up at investwithcorey.com. The link's in the information box below, and you'll be able to sign up for my Discord, my full training course, and one-on-one coaching. If you guys don't believe me, you guys can see on the screen all the profits my students have made, growing from $8,000 to $40,000 in 5 months, $300,000 to $800,000 in the same time frame, and other students that started with $20,000 or $30,000 have been able to turn their portfolios into over $60,000 with 30 to 40% gains in a single month. But don't take my word for it. Let's listen to what my student Shane had to say.
When I first started off with options, I knew nothing at all. Corey's program broke it down into very simple steps. Corey broke them down where it was nice and simple, and I was like, oh, okay, I totally understand that now.
How much are you up since the start of joining my program?
Oh, you know what? Hold on. I'll give you the exact number. Let me bring it up. On average, I was making about $2,200 a month day trading. That was average. In the very first month that I started actually selling options, it jumped up to $14K. And right now in December, I'm already up 6.4 thousand.
You went from day trading to my course, and you were able to go from 2,200 to 14K.
Correct. And I'm up 165% right now.
If someone was trying to decide between my program or another Discord, what would your direct and short message to them be?
Corey's program will save you time and make you money. That's the bottom line right there.
What would you tell someone who is skeptical about learning from someone online like myself?
I bought into multiple different programs. From my experience, Corey's is the safest, very consistent and profitable.
How long did it take you to actually make back the cost of joining the Discord?
From the time I started trading, I made my money back in 2 weeks, 10 days. If you want to count the actual trading days, 10 days. And then I just looked at it and I was like, holy cow. I'm like, I just made $14,000 this month. I'm like, that's like crazy. And, just 1 month, it blew away, almost my entire year of day trading.
What did you start off with in my program? Total capital portfolio. And what are you at now with profits?
Started off with roughly 50,000. I had 25-ish already in stocks. And now I'm up to 75,000.
So you heard what my student Shane had to say. All you have to do to turn this success story into your success story is go to investwithcorey.com, click on training. And then once you do that, there'll be a video there. You can watch it. It'll answer all your questions. And then you can book a call with my team and I so I can help you achieve your goals. Looking at Palantir, we can see that the stock has a lot of resistance at 76, even more at 74, and there's a ton at 72 and 70. I don't think the stock is going to fall to $60. If it falls below 76 or even 74, then I think 70 and 72 will hold. And if it ends up going below that, we end up seeing something like this, where it breaks through right there, comes back up a little bit, and let's say it does this number and then resists again, it very well in the next month or two could fall to 65. I honestly feel like 60 is out of the question. I think 65 or 70 really is the floor. So this is what I would do to get into Palantir. But first, I want to explain to you guys here the price to sales. 173 on the market cap, and then we have trailing 12-month revenue at 265. So 173 divided by 265. We have 65 price to sales, which is fairly low. The key here is that Palantir has $4 billion in cash with more than enough assets to cover liabilities and a ton of cash left over and a lot of free cash flow. A lot. This company is also got a very positive EBITDA and a very positive net income and a lot of growth. So I don't see any problem with continuing to sell puts and buying shares, dollar cost averaging, and just overall adding to your position. What we're going to do is we're going to go over here to Palantir, and the best way to get into Palantir is to decide if you want to go monthly or weekly. So we're going to go January 10th. And what we'll do is that's this week. If we want to sell a 74, we'll get $112. If we want to sell a 72, which is much safer, we'll get about $60. If you want to sell a 70, you'll get 28. But if you want to sell a 65, it's only $6. However, if we go out to January 31st, earnings is going to be on February 3rd. So you'll want to go the 24th or the 31st. And you could take advantage of premium and volatility for February 3rd by going with the 7th if you want. But I would go right before earnings as the run-up is happening. Then this way they expire. And then when earnings comes up, you'll be able to play earnings separately. So a $65 put is $100. And that is going out 3.5 weeks. This is a very good amount of premium. There's also a lot of interest in the $55 range, which you very well could sell a lot of those. You could sell 55 puts, $25. You could sell a ton of them, maybe 10 and make $250, which is highly unlikely to get assigned. The delta is 3, which is insane. But I say that 70 is a very good starting point, as well as 65. So we could click on 65. We might get $95 to $100, depending on where the stock goes tomorrow morning. If it drops, I might try to get this filled a little higher. And if we were to just do 20 contracts, this would net us a very nice premium of $1,800 for 3 weeks. Now, if you're selling cash secured puts on Palantir, then this is going to be $6,500 per put, and I am selling 20 of them. So this would be 20 times 6,500. So it's $130,000 to make $1,800. This realistically is about a 1.5% return, right on par with 2%, 2.5% per month, because this is only 3 weeks. However, if you're selling naked puts, then it's not $130,000. It's about $25,000 to $30,000 on naked puts. So I can put up $25,000 to make $2,000 in 3 weeks. If you get assigned, though, this would be $130,000 worth of Palantir, and it's because it's very low. It's very low down in delta and, of course, in strike price. The stock is $11 higher right now. With earnings coming up, it's likely to go even higher. So that's why there's not a whole lot of premium at $65, but it's very safe. So if you only sell 2, 3, maybe 4 of these, then you're putting up $20,000 and you're going to make $400 in the next 3 weeks. If you get the stock, then you're getting it at $65, which then when the stock runs by the summertime or this time next year, now you're at a $20 or a $30 profit. If you want to take advantage of earnings in February, then you could sell the same $65 put for about $225. If I was to sell the same 20 puts here, I could probably get maybe $225, $230, depending where it drops tomorrow morning, maybe more. This is going to generate almost $5,000 in premium between now and February 7th. And I don't think Palantir is going to fall that low, but if you're going to play earnings and you're bullish, then you could also go up and play the 70 mark, which is $6 out of the money still, and just 5 of these would bring in almost $2,000. This would only be $30,000 in capital. If you're very bullish, even more bullish than I am, and I'm very bullish on Palantir, and you want to stay around 72 or 74, then you could sell a 72 for about $450, and just selling 4 of these, which would be $28,000, you could make in 1 month $1,800. Now, on naked puts, this would only be about $8,000 to make $2,000. So doing naked puts and being right, like I usually am, this is a 25% return in a month, which is really good. I probably would sell 10 of these at 72, and this would generate me almost $5,000. And I only have to put up roughly about 2,000, maybe a little bit less per put. So this is 20,000 capital to make $5,000. It's very lucrative and very juicy. If you want to get into Palantir, and if you get assigned, then you won't be upset, because 72, 70, and 65 are really good strike prices, and they're below the current price. So we know that Palantir is going to run this coming year, and they're only going to grow. And if you're holding long term, it makes total sense. Personally, I'm more of a fan of selling a couple of 72s, a couple of 70s, but making the bulk of my orders at 65 going out to January 31st or February 7th. In fact, you could even sell 60 or 62 going out to February 7th. Let me show you. February 7th, $60 put. You could get about $125 for this during the open. And if you only sold 4 of these, you only be putting up 18,000 bucks. And you could generate $500. And if you get assigned, you get Palantir at $60. This is how you add to your position. And this is how you collect premium along the way. And it's a very powerful tool. The key is to not get shaken out of your stock. Don't sell Palantir in fear, just dollar cost average. Buy the dip, sell puts like I showed you, and enjoy your gains in 2025 and 2026 and beyond. Don't forget, guys, if you're looking to better yourself in trading, I would love to help you. You can sign up for Discord access, one-on-one coaching, and the full training course below. InvestWithCorey.com. Link is in the information box. Click on training, watch the video, and book a call with my team and I so I can help you guys. That's going to do it for this video. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next upload.